Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Big Wil Spotlight. We're going to discuss movies the Oscars don't care about. We're going to discuss movies that you care about. So go ahead, get yourself something to eat. Get yourself something to drink. Sit back and relax with your popcorn and your date as we go to Big Wil Spotlight with your hosts, Big Wil, Dr. Quack, and the important one, Mr. Mayhem.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Big Wil Spotlight. I am your host, Big Wil.
And I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem. And today we get to talk about, you actually chose a really good one. I like this choice that you made. What are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about Team America. It's a pretty controversial movie that, is out there, and either you loved it or you hated it is what it boiled down to.
Yep, the 2004 movie done by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the same people who do South Park.
Yes, it is.
But before we can talk about it, we have to bring on our cast.
Yes, we have to have a panel.
So we have to bring him on from Europe. He's our food expert as well as movie expert, the German movie critic, Rob Bell.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, what's up? The movie. Yeah. Most controversial.
Very controversial. And we've got coming and joining us here. He's been out taking care of it. His professional wrestling career has taken off for a little while. He gave us a little bit of time. Please welcome to the show, Mad Dog Dan Moore.
Hey, how you doing?
All righty. And also joining us here today, the newly declared competent storyteller.
You bring your letter with you.
Storyteller.
And last but not least, he always likes it when we make sure we give him proper introduction. So he's my boss. He's your boss. He's everybody's boss. Buy his merch and everybody else's merch. Bossolini. All right. So Team America World Police.
Yes, World Police. First, welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for being here. Yes.
Good to be here.
I'm
on decoration here.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm decoration here already.
Oh, you're decorating. Okay.
All righty. So the movie was made in 2004. And for those of you that have never seen it, first of all, pause here, come back and watch the movie, come back and watch us.
If you have watched it, this show just cannot be as PG as we usually try to keep it.
Very true. Yeah, so, this movie was done with marionettes or puppets, and they got the idea from a British TV show called Thunderbirds, which was a military-themed movie done with marionettes. It was a electronic marionette system, and they used it for this movie here.
So, yeah, first disclaimer, there is going to end up being cussing, whether we're just quoting the movie or...
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right.
All right, so let's start with Rob Bell first. This is a very American movie, obviously. But what are your thoughts on this movie, and how is it perceived in the European community versus the American community?
Well, let's start up with the point. It's not very known in Europe overall. It's not very known. I mean, I needed at least 1 hour to actually find a Forsaken movie. And even I couldn't watch half of the movie because of the quality. We don't have this good quality in Germany for that. So it was a kind of pain in the arse for me to watch it.
Alrighty. And we have several veterans on here, American military veterans. So let's start with the storyteller, who's an Air Force veteran. What's your thoughts on Team America World Police?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, my internet. Gosh, there's so much to say about that movie. um, I don't know. It's one of those movies you watch and you feel like you need a shower afterwards. It was funny, you know. It's got some very quotable lines from it, but there's just I don't know, just one of those movies that you feel like you should watch it in private. Almost, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want people to know that you watched it.
Yeah.
All right. Boss, the Navy veteran, what's your thoughts on this movie?
America. Fuck yeah.
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 Besides that, I don't know. It looked like we took our military and made it a joke.
It's about what the military became.
Yeah. And it's as Matt and Trey have said, this was not an insult to the military. It was an insult on the politicians' feelings that we need to enforce policies across the world. That was more what they were making fun of. It wasn't specifically the military.
Besides the actors who took the political call to go to the extremes of either side.
Yes. And Mad Dog, you work around a lot of military. You've worked around some military bases. So what's your thoughts on this movie?
I loved it. But yeah, it did take a stab at what the military became.
Yeah.
It's my point of it.
Very much so. I remember basically the only thing that my superiors could not do to me was physically punch or kick me. Yeah. They could grab me, shove me around, pick me up off the ground, shove me in the dirt. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Now they can't even cuss at them anymore.
Nope, you're stressing me out. They give you a stress card.
Yeah.
Soft ass shit.
So anyway, this movie again was marionettes, and it was done tongue in cheek. There were a lot of famous people that were made fun of in this movie, to include Alec Baldwin, to include George Clooney, to include Sean Penn,
Susan Sarandon,
and many, many others. The reason I bring it up specifically is that George Clooney and Alec Baldwin both loved this movie and loved their interpretations, and both were willing to give their own voices to the parts. No person in there except Matt Parker and Trey Stone used their actual voices. Matt Damon found it funny that they thought he was being stupid.
So, in other words, almost everybody seen this movie.
Yes. And Sean Penn hated the movie and actually invited them to go with him to Iraq to one of his tours. So you get, again, the both extremes here. So let's talk a little about the political side of this. At this time in 2004, there was actually an invention of a political term here in the United States called South Park conservative, which means they hated all politics and they tried to do everything from a real life standpoint of what makes sense in reality. So this is not to get into the political left versus right argument on this, but more just to talk about how they're done tongue in cheek.
So yes, another disclaimer. We're not advocating for either side.
Yes. So boss, we'll start with you on this one.
I like bunnies.
Also known as abdicating. Alrighty, and Rob, this is again. How does the European see the left versus right political argument? You guys have obviously a different political system in Europe and in Germany specifically. How is that seen, and how well do you think it's interpreted from a European standpoint in the movie?
Well, we gotta start off with this. When there's an election in America, the big one, the presidential election, you get it on television. Midterms, nowhere to be found, except for CNN. But that is not a problem. Yeah, with the political side, it's a little bit difficult for a lot of Germans because, for example, you have two major parties there. We have at around 5, 6, 7. Let me check the numbers again, or where we have it. We have at least 70, 80 parties in Germany. 5 big ones, and the rest is
All right.
there.
Okay.
So that is a little bit you have to be into American politics to know what's going to happen there.
True.
As a regular German, you don't have a fucking idea.
Gotcha. And Mad Dog, what's your thoughts on how it's portrayed at that time, the tongue in cheekness of it?
Get people about this. Said like any friends and family. Some people think it was a stab in the face to our government. Some people think it was a wake-up call.
Very true.
I mean, people are going to sit there and like take it to heart. I mean, hell, just it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
And
Learn from it.
yep. And storyteller, we were talking about it's not a political argument, but how the left versus right politics is displayed in Team America. Do you think it was a good representation joke? Was it bad? What's your thoughts in general?
I think I don't know. The Parker and his the creators. They've always been very astute with their political satire. I mean, as crude as the animation is for South Park, some of their underlying messages are very poignant. Yeah. Anyway, I think it touched on kind of both extremes because you had, Team America. They were all gung ho. Let's go kill the bad guys and get the prizes. But then you also had the political
I think Mark's having
about it. So I think it kind of touched the whole spectrum of leftist, right, centrist, and just a representation of things, I guess.
All right. So let's go now to your take.
Well, my take on the whole thing, the only thing that I did not like about this movie was the sex scene. I'm sorry. It was puppets. It really didn't need to be there. I mean, it was funny in its own rights, just in the simple fact of some of the things that they ended up having them doing. But still, it was just like, why am I watching this? Stop.
Yeah. To explain, yes, there was a puppet sex scene in here, and several times they had to take it back and forth with the rating system here in the United States, and it kept getting an NC-17 or not for children. They finally cut it out and put it back in when they sold the DVD, which don't have ratings. So that was not shown in the movie theaters.
Oh man!
You saw it in the theaters with that?
I went to the opening of it, the first ever showing. It was in theaters then.
Okay.
So what you said is half true.
Gotcha. Well, I understood the reason for that. It's one of those things of Matt and Trey also make fun of things outside their movie spectrum. They were actually making fun of all movies have to have some kind of sex scene, even if it doesn't make sense in the movie. If you even think back to the movie Cobra, I'm sorry, we're going off topic like we usually do. It's a Sylvester Stallone movie, and they're trying to escort this woman. And all of a sudden, they have to stop and they have to go sleep together just so they can continue running. They were making fun of the whole thing of sex scenes have to appear in movies for some reason. So
Yeah,
that's why they did that.
that scene didn't make sense at all. This Yeah, run. Oh, yeah, we have to bang. Okay, we can run again. That's
Exactly.
seemed to
Exactly, and that's what Trey and Matt were making fun of.
Oh yeah.
yeah. And I saw the sex scene.
Okay. And what'd you say, Mad Dog?
You guys think all the movies from 90s and up, sex sells.
Yes.
Well, I'm hoping that wasn't what sold for this movie.
I actually enjoyed how they made fun of how ridiculous Hollywood is in general. I mean, some of the things that come out of Hollywood, the average American just like, what? Just go act. Stop talking. Go act. And they did a good job of pointing that out of how ridiculous some people actually are that are given important status for no other reason than being famous.
For doing 2 movies that they were the stars of. They didn't build a long lifetime career out of it.
Right.
Well, I can't say it because the people that were main portrayals in there were acting back when we were kids, and they're still acting today.
Very true.
So,
all right. So, Mr. Bell, what's your thoughts on how Hollywood actors are portrayed in the media from a European standpoint?
The same trash as some German people of the media community are. A bunch of 80% are a bunch of trash.
All
Just
right.
point it out. It's not even Hollywood. A lot of celebrities are acting like fucking trash people.
Fair enough.
And it's not only in America, it is in Germany. It is nearly in every fucking country in the world.
Oh, it
except for India.
Even Bollywood is getting that way now. But
yeah.
Mad Dog, what's your thoughts about that? How they presented that?
Like, I'm going to go off of him. Like, they think just because they're an actor, that means they're up here. And really, they're down here. Like, they're just doing a job.
I'll be back.
They're not as special. They're not more special than what we are. Like, they're just doing something.
Yeah, from both of us, coming from a military standpoint, we worked around high-ranking officers, and a lot of them, the good ones, always said everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. You're no different than me, and I'm no different than you.
Well, I mean, he would be able to point out. I had a lot of officers end up crying about what I told them.
Yes.
If you're watching now, hey, we're all grown-ups now. Yeah, that's in the past.
Yes. All right. So,
and also to move on with that a little bit. Hey, if anybody over in Korea is watching this is about Kim Jong-un, not Kim Jong-il.
Yes. This is about the previous leader who has passed away, Kim Jong-il. The story is that he's leading a terrorist cell that's going to cause havoc all over the world. And it's done very funny, very tongue-in-cheek.
Fuck you, Hans Bleeks.
There you go. I'm so Ronry.
I'm so Ronry. I love that song. That's what ended up getting this show brought up for this week anyway. For some reason, over the last couple of weeks, I'm so lonely is what was said way too many times from different people's mouths. So
there you go.
Hopefully we got them the help they needed. And
so we'll start with you on this one, Mad Dog. The music, since we're bringing that up. Trey Parker is actually a singer in real life. He does all the singing on South Park. If he has to make himself sound bad, he runs it through a synthesizer. He actually can sing in real life and does have a great voice. What's your thoughts on the music used here in Team America?
To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to the music part of it, but it had its high points and its low points, and it made a lot of stuff funny.
Yeah, well, you remember one, America.
Oh yeah.
That is one of the songs that they specifically did for this show. Besides, "I'm So Lonely," and I mean, it's just
A lot, yeah.
they made so many songs for this
Yeah,
movie.
even for South Park, they write almost all the songs for South Park too. So
To touch on that one song, America F Yeah. As some of you all know, I was in a tag team called Team America. And that was the basically base point around our tag team to make fun of shit and people laugh. So
there you go.
Even Dirk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Big Buck. He's formerly Big Buck. So, Mr. Bell, your thoughts on the music from Team America World Police?
Yeah, what should I say about the music? What hasn't been said? I mean, I love the music from South Park when he's singing all the stuff like Kyle's mom.
Yeah, Kyle's mom.
And yeah, classic. But the music fitted the movie because that movie was crazy as hell. The music was crazy as hell, and the two guys are, yeah.
And Matt and Trey, besides doing South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, that was their first big movie. Then they did Team America, and they've done basketball. So the less we say about that, the better. But they actually also have an off-Broadway play about Mormons. So they cover a wide spectrum with their satire.
They do. I was just looking up to find out. I mean, Trey Parker himself sang 7 songs in that movie.
Mm-hmm. All of them. I think all but one. I think there's one he didn't sing.
There's the Harry Gregson Williams thing too. And DVD.
Everyone has AIDS.
That's the DVDA.
Yeah, it's his group.
Okay. But yeah, there's a couple of them in there. But I mean, the movie's got so many songs in it, and he was involved in pretty much all of it. So, congratulations, Trey Parker. Yes, congratulations.
Very
Good job.
talented man.
Very talented. If you actually have does he have an album?
No, he does not put out albums. Now,
Okay.
the South Park does have the best of songs, but that was because they own the rights to it, not specifically him. So Paramount, I think, put it out.
Oh, gotta turn that off quick before.
No.
Don't copyright me here, man.
There you go.
Before Zuckerberg gets you.
All righty. So we've talked about all the good things. You brought it up specifically. You didn't care about the sex scene. So, Mr. Bell, was there anything you didn't like about the movie or just didn't understand because of the differences in American society versus European society?
Yeah, well, as a lot of people know, I do care a lot of the American society.
Yes.
But the movie itself, meh, it wasn't mine. It wasn't really mine. I mean, I love movies, but that was not one of the movies that is in my top 10.
All righty. Mad Dog, anything you didn't care about in this movie?
The fucking throw up scene. I'm like, ugh. Ugh. See, there's a big difference of watching it at home and watching it on the movie screen because it's
Yeah. Well, on that point with the throw up scene, if you watch I'm Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and you watch it every year in Germany, you already know. If you watch it through the whole time for multiple years, it's kind of immune. It helps to get immune from these scenes. And yes, I know that for sure because I'm watching this old shit for 10 years now.
I think my only thing is I think they could have added a few more scenes, actually made it a little bit longer. There's a couple things they kind of rushed through a little bit, especially the beginning where they killed off Carson. They did the fight really well, but it seemed like they were just trying to close it. They were trying to create a little scene so that they could have a reason for a story later on. I think there's a couple things they could have fleshed out a little bit better and had a little bit more fun with. I don't know if that was financial or it was cut in editing, but I think some of the scenes were not long enough. They could have been a little bit longer.
But at the same time, it goes into where some people's names are like the first one you see in the opening credits, and they're dead within like 30 seconds of the movie starting.
Well, that too.
That might have been what they were going for in that. I mean, executive decision, prime example.
Yeah, that's true.
I believe it was executive decision.
Yeah, executive decision when Kurt Russell gets, or Steven Seagal,
Steven
one of
Seagal,
them.
yeah.
Get,
his name's like the first one that pops up there, like, boop, I'm dead.
and then the top of the plane blows off, and out he goes. That's executive decision.
Whoops, not my fault.
So fair.
But yeah, that beginning of that movie, I mean, it did reach out and grab you. I don't know if the opening scene is just like it's opening up and it's got the beautiful marionette scenes going on. And it's just like I'm watching a movie with puppets in it.
Puppets moving puppets.
Yes, puppets moving puppets even. And then, you know, the bombs start going off and
yeah,
it was just like it just grabbed me. Okay, I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, and I will say I did like that the fact that they used. I like the fact that they used Mount Rushmore as their base because there are a lot of conspiracy theorists who think Mount Rushmore is either a nuclear silo or an underground military base. So I like they had a little fun with playing with some of the less known conspiracies in this movie as well. I thought that was also cleverly and well done.
And every face opened.
No,
On that note, that's people who think Mount Rushmore is something from the States or underground base.
Yep.
That are the same people that think Area 51 is a goddamn restaurant.
Well, Area 51 really does exist. It is a classified Air Force base. The problem is it's, you know, until you can show me that there's aliens there, it's just a classified Air Force base.
And I'm sure
exactly, but they think Area 51 is a nice restaurant to grab some food.
Well, yeah, sure.
I'm sure some of the, you know, little places in the town right outside of there. It's not Barstow.
It's further. That's towards Elko.
Yeah. Either way, but I'm sure as soon as, you know, Area 51 kind of came out and they have said that it's there, if there were aliens there, they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you care more about the alien mystery of Area 51, go to Roswell, New Mexico. They actually have a nice museum there, and they have much better restaurants.
And you won't get shot.
That too. All right, so we've been talking about some of this stuff. So, what's your favorite quote or punchline or joke from the movie?
Oh God, there's too many to think about for that. I mean, I already said fuck you, Hans Blix, fuck you, Alec Baldwin. I mean, just the Kim Jong-il part. I mean, that character, almost everything that he did was just straight up comedy.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
If I had to pick a character, it would have been him. And because almost every one of his quotes are the ones besides Matt Gaiman.
Yeah. Yeah. And with the current events going on, you are useless, Alec Baldwin.
That was my favorite.
But I actually enjoyed one of the lesser ones, the psychic character. I sense that you want to do something useful. I found her to be the funniest character.
Yeah, you mentioned my quote, so I don't have anyone.
Sorry.
I'm just trying not
Mad
to
Dog?
laugh thinking about him now.
The Alec Baldwin and Matt Damon, the whole I'm Lonely scene. I'm like, I just watched I'm Lonely not 2 minutes ago. But the favorite thing that I can pull for that movie would have to be the theme song, America Fuck Yeah. Like, I use that every time that we go grilling. So
There you go. What you got there? Oh, he's checking out some of the website stuff, the funniest quotes.
Oh, good God Almighty!
Terrorize this.
And if you betray us,
Oh.
It's got too many commercials in there.
Of course, and then there's the fake Arabic word durka 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 Muhammad Jihad.
Durka Durka Durka.
Oh, good God Almighty!
Yeah, and he already alluded to what's the scene if you need help.
The best part, he's in the back of the Jeep.
What's he say? Kill me. I'll kill you. Oh, it was definitely a great, very, very good, very quotable movie. It is a guilty pleasure. If you don't like the movie, it's fully understandable. This is a very controversial movie. If you're one of those people that doesn't like a lot of controversy, you will not like this movie. But if you want to watch it for the comedic value and the sarcastic and the poking fun at every single thing out there, this is a great movie for you to watch.
And to realize that your life is way too far on either end of the spectrum.
There you go.
Come back to the middle.
This is just a great movie to watch, to enjoy. So let's go with a star rating out of 5 stars. Rob, what will you give this movie for a star rating? 2 stars? Okay. Mad Dog? 4? All right.
I'm in agreement with the 4.
I'm 3 stars. It's because the only reason I say that is because it doesn't cater enough to a wider variety of people that would watch it. So I'm going to put it in the middle at 3 stars.
All right.
All right.
You
had something? You had something, Mr. Bell?
Nah.
All right.
Said something.
So what do you got next for us? What's coming up
Oh,
on the
we're
next
already.
Oh, wait.
Show.
Well, unless you
I
got
have a suggestion. I have a suggestion for a big Wil Spotlight. I mean, we talked a lot of American movies at the latest episodes. I want to have some European movies,
Like?
especially 4 because I don't count the 5th one. There's a French movie with a taxi who can ride around, 217 to 18 kilometers per hour. And this is the TGW, fastest train into Europe. Taxi.
All right.
And I want to talk about the taxi movies from French.
All right. You can look at those.
I suppose I could try and find something in a foreign language that I don't understand.
I think it's available in English as well.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I've seen quite a few, but those are usually Asian movies that they dub over in English because fighting scenes and everything like that.
yeah.
There are fighting scenes as well, but it is more comedic.
There you go. So anyway,
I
you had something else.
I was all of a sudden waiting for him to say like the Pink Panther or something.
Why not? The original Peter Sellers?
I was
Panther?
going with like, I don't know. I don't buy into a lot of those.
So unless there's anything else, what's next on the spotlight?
We're gonna go with something that's kind of newer, and kind of keeping with the wrestling theme. Sorry, that's why we started doing this, was because of wrestling characters. I know we brought him up in some of our stuff before, but we're going to actually do Army of the Dead. How about that one? We got Dave Bautista.
All right.
Hey,
I will say there is a tie-in with wrestling and with Team America World Police, because on South Park they did an episode called WTF.
Yes.
Down Federation.
Season 13.
And since all of us here are involved in the promo world community, you want to watch WTF on South Park, because they don't really focus on wrestling action. They focus on how to talk.
Season 13, episode 10, if I remember that correctly.
There you go.
I need 2 minutes to check it.
All right.
So now we got to wait for 2 minutes.
Well, while he's doing that, we've got Dave Bautista coming up next, the Army of the Dead. We're going to be talking about
But of course, this show didn't take as many sideways as we usually end up taking for some reason. I guess people actually truly enjoyed this movie.
Yes.
Just be ready for the next one. It's going to end up not just being about Army of the Dead, because there is the spinoff that's the prequel of it that still had Dave Bautista in it with Army of Thieves.
Well, and we could talk about Dave Bautista's bad bumping and looking silly wrestling Triple H and running halfway across the ring before he took a bump.
See, there's always that.
All right, we're still getting it. So, any final thoughts, Mad Dog?
We're trying to fill 2 minutes. Hold on.
Yes, season 13, episode 10, like I said.
All right, there you go.
Mad Dog, any final thoughts?
If you haven't seen Team America World Police, I say go watch it if you want to get a laugh. But if you're a true Federal Republican, don't watch it.
There you go.
I did just kind of see, scrolling through there, that it is coming back to TV on Cinemax here shortly. Also, if you have it that way. What?
There you go.
Hey, we're promoting, TV channels here now.
There you go.
Promoting TV channels, go watch Hero Go TV.
There you go. Hero Go TV. Watch all Big Wil Spotlight episodes
and several of the Dr. Quack. I keep wanting to call him Quack.
Well,
Dr. Quack.
Quack. You can't understand what the hell he's saying. Quack, croc.
It's a fish, and you can call him that.
Duck.
There you go. But you can watch the Dr. Quack podcast episodes, catch up on Big Wil Spotlight, Heart and Soul Promotions, where you can see people like Rob Bell and Mad Dog, who performed on Heart and Soul Promotions, putting out their skills. So make sure you're checking us out on Hero Go TV
and Redbubble. Go buy the merch.
And with that,
and if you haven't watched the podcast from Pro Wrestling with Mr. Mayhem, check it out on Spotify.
There you go. So take us out of here.
All right, everybody. We're gonna cut it off here, and we'll see you next time.